Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Battle Through the Heavens based on novel. So let's start. A thunder-like roar turned into a sound wave and spread into the distance. After this roar gradually disappeared, that golden figure in the sky swiftly began to shrink. The figure recovered his original form. His body moved as he turned into a golden light that rushed toward everyone while he laughed. Junior Pavilion Chief, congratulations. Elder Ching Cheng congratulated him with a smile when he saw the laughing Xiao Yang head over. It was a lucky breakthrough. Xiao Yang grinned and replied. He twisted his body. A feeling of being full of strength was emitted. He was much stronger compared to 3 days earlier. The peak of an 8-star Dozun and the 9th star were merely a step away, but there was an enormous difference between them. Based on Xiao Yang's estimation, if he were to completely unleash the King Kong glass body and the clan tattoo's strength at the same time, his strength would be comparable to a 4 or 5 change peak Dozun. Moreover, if he were to include the Great Heaven Creation Palm and his other powerful Do skills, he would be able to fight against a 6 change peak Dozun expert. Has anything happened during these few days? Xiao Yang randomly asked. He only smiled after seeing everyone shake their heads. His eyes shifted to the deepest parts of the ancient wasteland region. They were narrowed slightly as he said, "We have delayed another few days. Looks like we must quicken our pace and hurry to the ancient region stage. It would not be good for us to arrive late." Kaylin and the rest nodded. Nearly a dozen groups of people, if not more, passed by this mountain during these 3 days. Based on the direction they were heading, they were clearly charging toward the ancient region stage. It was likely that many experts had already gathered there. Let's go. We should not delay any longer. It is best for us to leave now. Xiao Yang also understood that they were pressed for time. He immediately waved his hand as he gave a command. Should we use this big fellow as a ride and hurry over? The strength of the ancient heaven demon python is considered to be one of the strongest in this ancient wasteland region. We will be able to use its fierceness to charge through if we meet any other ferocious beasts along the way. It will save us some trouble. Qinglin pointed at the enormous heaven demon python lingering in the air and laughed. Ha ha, this is naturally the best. Xiao Yang was startled. He immediately smiled and nodded. His body was the first to move as he rushed onto the large body of the heaven demon python. The rushing sound of wind appeared behind him as Kaylin, the little fairy doctor, and Yun quickly followed. That incomparably violent heaven demon python had become extremely gentle under Qinglin's control. It did not resist even a little. When Qinglin emitted a whistle, a dense black fog was quickly emitted from the heaven demon python's body. After which, it formed a black cloud that was driven by the heaven demon python. It moved its body and rushed toward the deepest parts of the ancient wasteland region like a thunderbolt. The mountain where Xiao Yang's group had been was quite far from the ancient region stage. If they were to travel normally, they would require at least 3 days. Fortunately, they had the heaven demon python as their stead this time around. This saved them a lot of trouble. The fierceness of this big fellow was quite infamous in this ancient wasteland region. An ordinary ferocious beast would not dare to appear and stop it after sensing it. Xiao Yang's group was able to take the initiative and detour around those ferocious beasts that were comparable to the heaven demon python in terms of strength. Even if these beasts were able to detect the heaven demon python, they would not purposefully pursue it because of their fear. In this way, Xiao Yang's speed had significantly increased. Xiao Yang also came across some factions along the way, but most of them were factions that Xiao Yang had never met before. They were likely factions that usually kept a low profile. These factions usually did not show themselves, but they did possess a strong foundation. They were like the Cloud Wind sect, which Xiao Yang had never even heard of, much less even seen. However, that faction possessed 3 experts at the peak of the Dozun class. One of them even had half a foot in the Ban Shin class. This strength was comparable to the elders, or even grand elders in renowned factions like the Profound Sky sect. Although these factions were quite strong, Xiao Yang did not intend to stop and befriend them. Currently, all of them had come with the same aim. Unless they possessed an extremely special relationship, they would ultimately end up fighting each other. That fragile relationship could easily be broken by the temptation of the Bodhisattva ancient tree. Even though there were many factions who wished to step forward and express their goodwill because of the stead that Xiao Yang's group rode, Xiao Yang did not give them the opportunity to do so. He asked Qinglin to increase their speed, causing those fellows to be rebuked. Xiao Yang's group spent 2 days traveling without any obstructions before they gradually approached the area of the ancient region stage. The ancient region stage was rumored to be the site of a battle that happened during ancient times. Many extremely powerful experts had once died during this battle, causing the land to vaguely create a strange pressure. It was this pressure that caused this place to be the only location within the ancient wasteland region where ferocious beasts did not dare to tread. Additionally, this ancient region stage was located at an intersection between the middle and deepest part of the ancient wasteland region. One could enter the deepest part of this ancient region from this stage. Therefore, many factions had chosen to come to this safe resting spot in this ancient wasteland region. The Heaven Demon Python was withdrawn when Xiao Yang's group was around 5 kilometers away from the ancient region stage. The beast was too big and attracted too much attention. It must naturally be stored away in order to avoid some unnecessary trouble. Xiao Yang's group flew for another 10 minutes or so after approaching the ancient region stage. An enormous square suddenly appeared in their line of sight. Xiao Yang's group was stunned when they saw this square appear in the wilderness. Only after seeing the dense crowd of humans standing on the square did their hearts finally came to a sudden understanding. This place was likely the so-called ancient region stage. Everyone, be careful. Xiao Yang sighed in relief after seeing that so many people had gathered together. There were ferocious beasts all over this ancient wasteland region. It was the first time he had seen so many people since entering the wasteland. It caused him to relax a little, but Xiao Yang understood that this feeling could not be relied on. Hence, he softly uttered words of warning. Everyone nodded when they heard Xiao Yang's reminder. They had covered the 1,000+ meter distance within the blink of an eye. They slowly landed after approaching the enormous square. Their arrival also attracted some eyes, but these eyes quickly shifted away. Some groups and experts hurried to this place during this period of time. It was nothing surprising. The bloody scent on these people is really dense. Xiao Yang's eyes swept over the crowd, which had separated into small circular groups of varying sizes. There was a similar scent radiating from all these people. All of them boasted a bloody scent. This scent was not the blood of humans. Instead, it was that of ferocious beasts. Don't tell me that these fellows have formed groups to hunt those ferocious beasts. Xiao Yang felt some doubt in his heart, but he did not open his mouth to ask. Instead, he slowly led Kaylin's group to the square before heading to the middle. Under normal circumstances, the Jiyu clan would likely not give up such an opportunity. The Bodhisattva heart and Bodhisattva seed possessed a miraculous effect on the younger generations. The people who were at the peak of the Dozun class. Some new elite Doshings might even appear as a result. Xiao Yang naturally did not wish to search for the Jiyu clan. The one he wanted to find was Zun. With her status in the Jiyu clan, she would definitely be given the chance to come and attempt to find this Bodhisattva ancient tree. Due to the beautiful Kaylin, the pristine Yun, and the gorgeous little fairy doctor, their group attracted a number of unusual gazes when they walked into the square. The group that could reach this place possessed a great strength. Moreover, there were all sorts of people present. If these people still possessed some sense of reasoning, they would not have been able to resist stepping forward to strike up a conversation. Even though this was the case, some impudent gazes still caused the faces of Kaylin's group to turn icy cold. Xiao Yang did not meet anyone he was familiar with as he walked, causing him to feel a little surprised. Upon approaching the middle of the square, he began to discover a problem. It seemed that the groups or people that were closer to the middle of the square were stronger. Those at the outer edges were the weakest. He wondered if this kind of positioning occurred naturally, or it was the result of someone's actions. Xiao Yan knit his brows. His footsteps did not slow as he gradually arrived at the middle of the square in front of everyone's eyes. Only after arriving at that spot did Xiao Yan discover that there was a 1,000-foot-large, 2-meter-tall stone stage present at the middle. There were some people on the stone stage, but their numbers were a lot less than those below. Nevertheless, the people on the stage all expressed a common trait. Their auras were all extremely powerful. Xiao Yan was startled when he came across the stage. However, he did not give it any additional thought. His eyes swept over the stone stage as a smile immediately surfaced on his face. He finally found some familiar figures, especially when it came to a green-clothed beautiful lady seated with her eyes shut in the crowd. A gentleness flashed across his eyes. "Let's go and meet some familiar people," Xiao Yang turned his head and informed everyone. After which, he stepped onto the stone stage and walked to the Jiyu clan area. However, the moment Xiao Yang stepped onto the stone stage, he suddenly sensed ice-cold eyes thrown at him. At the same time, a faint ice-cold voice slowly sounded from the stone stage. "This place is not where you should come. Get lost." Xiao Yang's footsteps paused when he heard this ice-cold voice. He turned his head. As his eyes glanced over, the corner of his mouth was lifted into an arc. "Feng Qing." The ice-cold voice that suddenly sounded on the stone stage attracted some surprised gazes. The eyes of some people began to gloat when these eyes swept over Xiao Yang and Feng Qing. Xiao Yang Ge. The group from the Jiyu clan sitting in a corner of the stone stage also shifted their eyes over because of Feng Qing's voice. That green-clothed young lady, who had been resting with her eyes shut, had opened them at this moment. Her pretty eyes locked onto the skinny young man, who had stepped onto the stone stage. She was momentarily startled before some joy began to surge into her eyes. "Ha ha, it looks like Xiao Yang has met with some trouble. It is unexpected that he has also formed a grudge with the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe." A silver-robed man by the side smiled as spoke. This person was not unfamiliar. He was one of the 4 great generals of the Jiyu clan, and had entered the Heavenly Tomb to train with Xiao Yang back then, Jiyu Hua. Zana bunched her eyebrows together when she heard his words. Her bright eyes landed on the colorfully clothed woman as she softly said, "This Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe is going overboard. Don't be anxious to intervene. Xiao Yang will be able to resolve it." Jiyu Qingyang faintly laughed. With his senses, he was naturally able to tell that Xiao Yang had already become a 9-star Dozun. Although Feng Qing's aura was a little strange, Xiao Yang was able to defeat Jiyu Yao, who had reached the peak of an 8-star Dozun, when he was a 5-star Dozun. Even less needed to be said now. Zana nodded. Her bright eyes suddenly slid to a spot behind Xiao Yang and finally paused on Kaylin. An unknown fluctuation rose within her eyes. The stone stage, where many discussions had been occurring, became a lot quieter as a result. Numerous eyes gathered on Xiao Yang. "A noisy girl, there is no need to bother." However, Xiao Yang merely smiled under the focus of these many pairs of eyes. He did not even turn his head to Feng Qing. All he did was turn his head to the group behind him and randomly utter some harsh words. After which, he lifted his foot and climbed onto the stone stage. A furious grin surged onto Feng Qing's face when she heard Xiao Yang's words. Both of her eyes became unusually cold. She waved her hand and a colorful pillar tore through space like lightning. It ruthlessly shot toward Xiao Yang's head. Bang! Xiao Yang's feet paused when he sensed Feng Qing's sudden attack. His left hand was extended and grabbed that colorful pillar. At the same time, a frightening flame quickly appeared. It transformed into a ferocious string of flames that rushed toward Feng Qing through the pillar. Humph! Feng Qing's eyes turned cold upon seeing this flame. She was aware of the great strength of Xiao Yang's heavenly flame. She pulled her finger across the line and the pillar was cut apart. At the same time, a vast and mighty aura that was ancient and experienced suddenly surged out of her body in all directions. An earth-shaking phoenix cry vaguely appeared. This feeling, it is indeed that of an ancient heaven phoenix. Xiao Yang's heart shook when he sensed Feng Qing's aura. This aura and feeling was somewhat similar to the ancient heaven phoenix avatar that had died a countless number of years ago back in the ancient forest of the Doxing remains. Although Xiao Yang was not certain why this aura had appeared, he was certain that the reason Feng Qing's strength had soared was definitely related to that dead heaven demon phoenix. Xiao Yang, today, you will use your life to compensate me for the pain that I have received. Feng Qing's face was icy cold as she glared at Xiao Yang with a great hatred. If Xiao Yang's group had not snatched the dragon phoenix origin fruit, they would not have suffered punishment after returning. Fortunately, they were able to find a trace of heaven phoenix essence blood from within the heaven phoenix corpse that they had brought back from the ancient forest, but that essence blood was quite weak. Hence, the heaven demon phoenix tribe experts decided to forcefully transplant the bones in order to obtain the pure heaven phoenix essence blood. They placed the bones with hidden heaven phoenix essence blood into the body of a clan member. However, this transplant would undoubtedly result in one enduring an endless amount of pain. There were a total of 10 young clan members who had undergone the bone transplantation in the heaven demon phoenix tribe, but it only succeeded for 2 people. One of them was Feng Qing. Those 8 others, who had failed, all died. Humph! The eyes of Kaylin and the others behind Xiao Yang turned cold when they saw Feng Qing attacking as she pleased. Do Qi surged out of their bodies. After which, many pairs of eyes coldly looked at Feng Qing as Do Qi gathered in their palms. You are Xiao Yang. Since Qing wishes to spar with you, you should fight with her alone. The others need not intervene, otherwise, you will end up suffering a loss. A faint voice was suddenly transmitted from behind Feng Qing when Do Qi surged from Cai Lin's group. Everyone looked over, only to find a white-robed man. Surprisingly, this man had rare-colored pupils, appearing extremely strange. Over a dozen experts from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe were staring at Xiao Yang's group in an unfriendly manner when man with colored pupils spoke. Clearly, they would all attack at the first disagreement. The ones who will suffer a loss will perhaps be your group, right? A similarly calm voice was suddenly transmitted from another direction after man with the colored eyes spoke, causing the man to be startled. His eyes glanced toward the source of the voice before frowning and demanding, Jiyu Qingyang. Is your group also planning to interfere? Ha ha, if it is a one-on-one fight, we naturally not need to intervene. However, I cannot really endure watching people bully others with numbers. Jiyu Qingyang faintly laughed. After which, his eyes slid to Xiao Yang as he nodded. Xiao Yang returned a smile when he saw Jiyu Qingyang nod, but his eyes remained on the green-clothed girl from the Jiyu clan. The Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe was not an ordinary faction. Even a faction like the Jiyu clan would not easily clash with them. The reason that they were willing to intervene was likely because of Zun. That green-clothed lady in the crowd sweetly smiled at Xiao Yang when she felt his gaze. That short-lived flower-like smile caused many experts to give her a sideward glance. Ha ha, all right. Since this is the case, we'll let you give it a try. The colorful-eyed man stared at Jiyu Qingyang for a moment. He did not expect Xiao Yang to possess such a relationship with the Jiyu clan, but he was extremely cunning. He smiled as he turned his head to speak to Feng Qing. Feng Qing nodded after hearing the words of the man with colorful pupils. Her eyes coldly looked at Xiao Yang as she cried out, Xiao Yang, do you dare to step forward and accept this challenge? Xiao Yang smiled. He extended his hand and stopped the group behind him. Most of the people here were unfamiliar, so Xiao Yang saw a gloating expression in their eyes. He had come to this place for the Bodhisattva ancient tree, but this place was chaotic with all sorts of people. Many experts were also present. One needed to deter others if one wished to survive in this wasteland. Naturally, he could not step back now. As you wish. Xiao Yang slowly stepped forward. His face still contained a smile, but both of his eyes flickered with a dangerous chill. Although he was uncertain why Feng Qing's strength had soared, she still lagged far behind him. Even though her strength had soared, she was only a 3-change peak dozun. Other 9-star Dozuns might not be able to defeat such an expert, but this strength was nothing to Xiao Yang. Humph! A cold smile surfaced on Feng Qing'er's face when she saw Xiao Yang step forward. Her foot stomped on the ground as colorful silk shot out in all directions. The silk appeared like incomparably sharp blades, since they were accompanied by an extremely sharp wind that covered the area within 100 feet around Xiao Yang. He had nowhere to retreat. It is still the same old tricks. Your strength has soared, but you are unable to control it. You are just like a beggar who has picked up a treasure. Xiao Yang slowly shook his head when he saw the colorful silks cover his sight. He took one step after another forward. A dense flame suddenly surged out of his body and wrapped around him. Any silk that charged into the flame would only be able to charge 5 feet forward before they were turned into ashes that scattered. Xiao Yang took one step after another toward Feng Qing'er as many people watched. His strolling steps appeared quite relaxed. Compared to Xiao Yang's comfortable manner, Feng Qing'er's face was a furious green. She had not expected that she would not be able to pose a threat to Xiao Yang after her strength had soared. How could her prideful self endure this? Heaven Phoenix Shadow. A furious cry was emitted from Feng Qing'er's mouth. Do Qi quickly surged out of her body and formed a 1,000-foot-large Heaven Phoenix illusory figure in the sky. Wave after wave of an ancient pressure spread. Ayo! The enormous Heaven Phoenix illusory figure let out a clear cry as both of its wings were flapped. It carried a frightening might that ruthlessly shot toward Xiao Yang below. That momentum caused the expressions of many experts to change. Xiao Yang finally halted because of the enormous Heaven Phoenix illusory figure. He lifted his head and looked at the Heaven Phoenix that was swiftly being magnified. He was certain in his heart that the great increase in Feng Qing'er's strength was definitely related to that Heaven Phoenix skeleton in the ancient forest. Xiao Yang, die. The hatred on Feng Qing'er's face became even denser as she stared at the Heaven Phoenix illusory figure, which was less than 1,000 feet from Xiao Yang. An icy-cold cry echoed across the square. At this moment, Xiao Yang was unable to dodge even if he wished. It is still the same little tricks. However, Xiao Yang merely grinned when he heard Feng Qing'er's cold cry. He did not show any sign of dodging. All he did was slowly shake his head. At the same time, a golden light surged from his dark black eyes. After Xiao Yang's soft laughter rang out, a bright golden light suddenly erupted over the square like a golden sun. Most people hurriedly narrowed their eyes because of this glaring golden light. They were unable to see a human figure where the golden light had appeared. The golden light had already filled one's eyes. Although they were unable to see anything, those people present on the square were not ordinary people. They were still able to sense the enormous Heaven Phoenix illusory figure in the sky with its extremely majestic energy. They then sensed it ruthlessly collide with the spot where Xiao Yang stood. Bang! The entire square violently shook the moment the collision occurred. A powerful energy rippled along the ground and formed a circular shape, which suddenly spread apart. Some of the experts who were closer were forced to take a couple of steps back. The wild and violent energy spread apart as everyone forcefully opened their eyes. Dust filled their sight, and they were unable to see the exact situation. Arrogant brat. Some of the experts shook their heads when they saw this dust. This person dared to act arrogantly in the face of a full-force attack by a peak Dozun. He was really seeking death. Humph. Feng Qing'er looked at the spot where dust filled the air. Her tensed body relaxed slightly as a snort was emitted from her nostrils. Ever since she had met Xiao Yang, it was the first time that she had gotten him to taste such a feeling. Bang. However, Feng Qing'er's snort had just sounded when the ground where the dust remained suddenly trembled. A golden light suddenly rushed out at an extremely frightening speed. This golden light was extremely huge, but an instant later, it turned into a skinny figure. Finally, this figure appeared in front of Feng Qing'er in a ghost-like fashion in front of many stunned eyes. How is this possible? Shock surged across Feng Qing'er's face when she saw Xiao Yang appear in front of her with his clothes completely intact. Before she could launch another attack, a palm was rapidly magnified in her eyes. Bam! The clear sound of a slap suddenly echoed over the stone stage. Everyone saw Feng Qing's body fly back and rub against the ground. It only came to a slow stop about 100 meters away. Her thin and frail yet pretty face was left with a blood-red handprint. Traces of blood hung on the corner of her mouth, as some disbelief remained visible on her face. She had been slapped so hard by Xiao Yan that she had fainted. Regardless of where your strength has come from, it ultimately does not belong to you. You used some unorthodox means. Xiao Yan looked at the figure in the distance with cold eyes. His voice was calm and rippleless. Strength could only be relied upon if one obtained it from training. When Xiao Yang had obtained Xiao Xian's inheritance back then, he had not crazily increased his own strength. Instead, he had done his best to suppress it. On the other hand, Feng Qing'er had gone all out to try and raise her strength, but this was an unorthodox method. She would never truly reach the peak. Hiss. The surrounding observers inhaled a breath of cool air when they saw Xiao Yang send Feng Qing'er flying with a palm strike. This fellow really did not know how to show mercy to a beautiful girl. How violent. If I was in his place, I would not be able to strike such a beauty. I would prefer to secretly beat her when there are only the two of us. Xiao Yang randomly swung his hand as he heard these strange laughs. His face was without expression. Feng Qing'er's earlier attack intended on taking his life. Xiao Yang would not treat such a person as a woman any longer. Instead, she was an enemy. Xiao Yang had never shown mercy when facing an enemy, regardless of how beautiful she was. Bastard! The group from the Heaven Demon Phoenix tribe, along with the man with colored pupils, was stunned when they saw what happened. The members of the tribe immediately became furious when they recovered. They stood up and prepared to attack. Stop, Qing'er is weaker than him, carry her back. The man with colored pupils suddenly opened his mouth when these people were about to attack. His colored pupils looked at Xiao Yang as he softly said, "You are quite strong. If you wish to probe someone else's strength in the future, you should do it yourself. You are really nothing to ask a woman to do it." Xiao Yang glanced at this man with colored pupils as he reprimanded him. "Ha ha, I have learned my lesson. I will act personally the next time around." That man with colored pupils seemed to smile in an unconcerned manner, but his colorful eyes flickered with a dangerous glint. "I will await you, any time." A grin had also surfaced on Xiao Yang's face. After which, he ignored that person and turned around. He led Kaylin's group to where the Jiyu clan was located. The smile on the face of the man with colored pupils slowly disappeared when Xiao Yang turned around. A jade pendant in his hand was quietly turned into dust before scattering from his palm. "He, you are really ruthless. This is the first time I have seen you beat a woman." The silver-robed Jiyu Hua gave Xiao Yang a thumb-ups and laughed when he saw him leading a group over. Xiao Yang was helpless when he heard Jiyu Hua's words. He cupped his hands to Jiyu Qingyang and the rest. After which, his eyes looked at Zuna in the middle. "Xiao Yang Ge, you are very late this time around." Zuna softly laughed after seeing Xiao Yang look over. Her pretty eyes suddenly swept behind Xiao Yang as she spoke. "This must be older sister Kaylin, right? I have frequently heard Xiao Yang Ge mention you." Kaylin was slightly startled when she heard Zuna's words. She had heard Xiao Ding mention Zuna back in the Jioma Empire. This person was Xiao Yang's childhood sweetheart. If that incident hadn't happened, the one who would have become Xiao Yang's wife would most definitely have been her. Moreover, Kaylin also understood that Zuna occupied a great part of Xiao Yang's heart. From a certain point of view, Kaylin was a little like the third party in this relationship. This kind of embarrassing position caused Kaylin to feel a little uneasy, but she still nodded gently as a form of politeness. Xiao Yang felt a little embarrassed in his heart when he heard the two women speak, but he was unable to say anything. He led his group over and sat down. The group that followed behind Xiao Yang was mostly women. Other than a couple of elders from the flower sect, all of them possessed a lovely appearance. Hence, Only at this moment did Jiyu Qingyang and the rest discover that the atmosphere had become a little strange. After hearing Zun's earlier words, many eyes landed on Kaylin. They were aware of plenty of information related to Xiao Yan. Therefore, they understood who Kaylin was after some thoughts. Their expressions quickly became a little strange. This Xiao Yan, was he really planning on enjoying both women? In spite of their relationship with Xiao Yan, they involuntarily felt a blotch in their hearts when they thought of this. Just what position did Zun possess in the Jiyu clan? She was the goddess in the hearts of countless clan members. Forget about Xiao Yang having successfully obtained Zun's heart. The fact that he was planning on enjoying two beauties was a little too good, right? Although these thoughts whirled around their hearts, none of them were foolish enough to give voice to these thoughts. Since Zun had not created a disturbance, they were unable to say much despite feeling a knot in their hearts. Zun appeared quite calm, while everyone was feeling embarrassed. She was gentle and polite, as she greeted everyone behind Xiao Yang. However, she paused slightly when her eyes met Nalan Yanran's eyes. The last time that the two of them had met was when Nalan Yangran had come to the Xiao clan to end the engagement. At that time, Nalan Yangran was haughty and arrogant. After these years of polishment, she was no longer the same arrogant and overbearing person from back then. Nalan Yanran's face did not reveal anything in front of Zun's scanning eyes. However, her heart was complicated as she recalled something. When she was about to leave after having successfully resolved the issue of ending the engagement, Zun, who was seated beside the window, had uttered some words to her. "Lady Nalan, hopefully you won't regret what you have done today." These words, which contained some cold indifference, were spoken in a somewhat soft and ethereal voice over a decade ago, yet Nalan Yangran clearly remembered them. Moreover, the thing that caused her to feel a little downcast was that these words had come true 10 years ago. She had indeed regretted her actions, but this regret was useless. "Xiao Yang Ge, you have come to the ancient wasteland region because of the Bodhisattva ancient tree, right?" Zun's bright eyes shifted to Xiao Yang after having greeted everyone. She asked him a question. Xiao Yang hurriedly nodded when he saw that Zun did not do anything. He felt an apology take shape in his heart. The guilt in his heart had become even denser the more Zun acted as though she was unconcerned. He understood that Zun was unwilling to let this matter cause a din and give him a headache. "We will be able to enter the deepest part of the ancient wasteland region if we walk further north. The Bodhisattva ancient tree is in that direction." Zun's delicate finger pointed to the north of the ancient region's stage, as she softly said. "However, it is very difficult to reach the Bodhisattva ancient tree, because there is a ferocious beast army guarding it 50 kilometers from here. They have surrounded the deep region. We must charge through the sea of ferocious beasts in order to enter. Everyone here has given it a try during these past few days. However, everyone was blocked and forced to withdraw. The ferocious beast army is not only full of a frightening number, there are also some powerful ones among them that are very difficult to deal with." Zun lifted her face. Sunlight scattered down from the sky. Her upturned nose caused her face to reveal an extremely beautiful outline. A gentle jade-like luster seeped out of her skin, appearing like a pure lotus. Such beauty was completely different than Cai Lin's bewitching beauty. No wonder there is such a rich bloody scent on everyone's bodies. They actually charged into the ferocious beast army, Xiao Yang muttered with a sudden understanding. Currently everyone here needs to join hands. Otherwise, none of us will be able to enter." Zun parted the black hair on her forehead. Her face turned to a spot that was a short distance away. There was an additional trace of solemnness in her pretty eyes as she said, "The temporary alliance was suggested by that person. Xiao Yang Ge, you should be careful of him, because he is from the Hall of Souls. Moreover, he is 1-2 people from the current Han clan's younger generation, who will likely be the next Han clan chief." Xiao Yang's heart shook when he heard these words. His eyes followed Zun's gaze as he looked over. Part 1 end here.